Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. We don't need security anymore. We're pretty safe now at this point. We've buried the hatchet with Nick and Soapy, so we're all right. I think we're gonna be okay here. But my guest this week, making his first appearance on the show, Matty Heinz. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No, pleasure to have you. Let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Very heavy question, I guess. So I've moved probably like 15, 16 times in my life.
Okay.
I've lived in New Hampshire multiple times. I've lived in Massachusetts multiple times, Texas, Arizona, Ohio. I consider myself from here in Nashua, New Hampshire. And I mean, most of my family lives out here. So I consider myself from here, but I've kind of done the gambit of different places.
Now, was that by choice or was that like a family thing?
No, it was my dad's job growing up.
Okay.
Just promotions within the company. That company got bought out, then promotions with the new company. And then after that was just kind of life choices, going to college and then business opportunities after that. And then came back here for family at the end. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you go far for college or?
In Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dayton, Ohio.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Now, what's 3 things that everybody should know about you?
3 things. I am an avid softball player. I wish I had more time to do that. I am a avid football player of the mud football variety and flag. The funny thing is that I never played in like school growing up at all. I didn't play football at all, like organized until afterwards. And then I think that I run and own my own business.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. How did? Well, we're gonna get to that, but
Sure.
how'd you with the softball? You only play 2 nights a week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just in the springtime. I don't do fall ball at all.
We do try to get you involved more.
I do. Yeah. I can definitely say that everybody tries to get me way more involved, and I wish I had more time for it.
Understandable. Now, sticking with the theme of the show, and this is like the big question that we ask, and we ask every guest this, because it means a lot of different things to different people. What does it mean to you to be an American?
So to me, I definitely thought about this because you did give me a heads up on this question, which I'm glad you did. But I think it's the ability to be me. We definitely have a lot of freedoms that we can do, and I think to me, being an American is pursuing those things, whether it's a job, your interests, your hobbies, and that kind of stuff. So I think it's just the opportunities that we're kind of given. To me, that's what it means to be an American.
All right. Yeah, like that answer. We get a lot of different ones.
Sure. I can imagine.
So. But I do want to talk about what you do because it kind of fascinates me. I've been following you on Instagram for a while.
And I appreciate that.
And I get to watch the videos and go, what is Matty doing here?
Yep.
But how'd you become an Amazon owner, and what does it actually mean?
Yeah, so I'll say what it means first. So a lot of people think that when they go on Amazon that they're buying directly from Amazon, which probably 60 to 70% of the time you're actually buying from what's called a third-party seller. That's somebody like myself or somebody else, and you're buying from their business instead. So how I got started with that, I'll give it in essence in twofold. So one, when I was growing up, my mom used to take me to yard sales and auctions all the time. Okay. And I think my favorite story, if I can tell a real quick story, is I would always wait to the end of the auction. At a lot of auctions, they would have like tables of just like all the big assorted stuff. The not valuable stuff, but just the small stuff. And I would buy this whole table for $20. I only wanted one thing on the table, and then I would actually wait around for people to come up to me and be like, hey, will you take $3 for that? Will you take $2 for this? And I would actually make my money back plus some just because I took the time and then marketed it out to people. So I kind of had that entrepreneurial mindset when I was younger. And then how I really got into Amazon was when I worked at my old business at a grocery store. One of my shift managers could have been an extreme couponer, like featured on the show, and I was like, oh, there's got to be a way for you to make money on this. She's like, I mean, I sell it like locally, and I'm like, no, like big picture, like there's got to be a way. And I just like we stumbled upon like videos on YouTube as far as like selling on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I could do this. So I tried it for 3 months, just kind of like part-time, like after work and stuff like that. Saw what I could make if I was like, oh, if I really put effort into this, and yeah, and went from there. So
no, it's very unique. Like Amazon's crazy because I swear they were just a book, like you used to just get books there, right?
Yep, that's what it was. It started out as just a book company.
And now it's like, well, you can get anything you want.
Anything and everything, yep.
And if I recall, you used to work at Aldi too, which was like, they're pretty unique too.
Yeah.
Because like, don't you have to pay a quarter to get a carriage and stuff like that?
So you put a quarter in the cart. It's in essence, it eliminates a lot of the overhead. So you put the quarter in the cart, you do your shopping, you bring the cart back yourself, you lock it back up, and you get the quarter right back. So it's not like you're paying for the cart. You're just doing that.
Keeping you honest.
Yes, it's the incentive, so people will actually put their carts back, which I know.
Big thing for me.
Yes, I know it's a big thing for you. So I guess it incentivizes bringing your own cart back to get your quarter back. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to be lazy, you're paying a quarter to use a cart. But it just eliminates having to pay like a cashier. You bag your own groceries, so it eliminates having to pay, you know, a bagger for that kind of stuff. All the cashiers, they stock shelves, they clean bathrooms. Like, there's no this person just does this person just does this. So it's a very unique.
It's very
thing.
unique. Like, does it compete with Market Basket, or like, what is this a New England company based, or is this like?
It's from Germany actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes and no as far as competing. So yes, they compete as far as the like everyday stuff, but they actually place themselves near other grocery stores on purpose. Because so say for example, like if you wanted to get a mustard from Market Basket, you're going to get 20 different kinds of mustards available to you, where Aldi probably has 2. So if you're looking for something specialized, then you would go to like a Market Basket or that kind of stuff. So what they want you to do is they want you to do 90% of your shopping at Aldi and then be really close to another store to finish up your shopping. They don't want it to be inconvenient if you have to go out of your way, but they want you to go to Aldi first, do the majority of your shopping, save your money, and then go to other stores afterwards.
Okay, so that makes sense in a way because they're right diagonal from what used to be Market Basket, and now it's a Whole Foods.
There's Whole Foods, yeah. But even there's a Market Basket half a mile down the road.
Not even, yeah.
Exactly. So it's strategic on purpose. They don't go out of their way to be isolated.
I will say I was sad when that one closed because that was the Market Basket that we always went to when I was a kid. You know?
Yep.
Now, how does the process work? Like, how do you become an Amazon owner? Like, how does that process work?
I mean, the basics is literally just sign up for it. Anybody can do it. You just have to have a bank account, and they do like an interview just to make sure you're a legitimate person, not just a robotic thing creating accounts. But so I mean, when I first started, I mean, I guess I kind of have to explain the story of like when I first started.
Sure.
When I first started, I would literally go into like Walmart's, Targets, and like hunt for like clearance items, stuff with the yellow stickers and stuff. But then progresses, you can buy from the big box stores online, Kohl's. I mean, I still buy from Walmart, Target, that kind of stuff. But and then there's like the wholesale thing where I'm buying from like distributors and that kind of stuff. But as far as getting started, like I literally just watch YouTube videos because there's a lot of content out there as far as how to get started. But I mean, I've made the mistakes. I've learned from it. The big thing is talking to other people in the community, asking them questions. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to call it an easy process to get started because there's a lot to it. But I mean, it is easy to get started. So
okay. Yeah. So there is an application. Are you essentially on the Amazon payroll then, kind of? Or?
No. So what it is, so I don't get paid until I like sell a particular product, and then Amazon takes their portion of the fees. Whether I fulfill it directly to the customer or they fulfill it at one of their fulfillment centers. If they fulfill it themselves, they take a certain portion, but they take a percentage because they're advertising my product on their website. Otherwise they in essence, they pay out every 2 weeks, I guess like a normal pay thing, but they're only paying for the products you've sold. Okay. So they're in essence collecting the money from the customer and then reimbursing you a certain portion of that. So I don't technically work for Amazon, although everybody works for Jeff Bezos to an extent.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And now you can't watch Thursday Night Football without Amazon.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't have an opinion on that, but I'm not going to go there.
I've heard many opinions. Yes.
Now, what are some of the things that you sell? I'm just out of curiosity.
I literally sell everything. So I like to tell people my 2 biggest items when I first started was a unicorn sequin backpack, like, the reversible ones where you could like brush it either way.
Yeah.
And I used to get those at Walmart when it was like marked down on clearance, and Tickle Me Elmos, like the old school.
Still?
Yeah, still. And
that was like the biggest thing in '97.
Yes, and it's still extremely popular. And I would find those at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and people didn't realize they were at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and I would just flip it online. But I mean, I've sold over 1,500 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
It is kind of crazy how Amazon works, because it's like, I wanted to buy a rugby ball, right? And I could go but I want a specific one.
Yep.
I type it in, it's there.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, wow, that was easy. Yeah. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But so I started with just like that stuff, but I mean, I do beauty, toys, sporting goods, athletic wear, regular like clothing, automotive stuff. Like, it's literally everything. Electronics. Just pretty much whatever makes me money. I definitely don't have a certain niche that I kind of let myself fall into.
So when you see a deal, you just go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Now, what is the most challenging part of doing this?
I think the most challenging thing now is that I've grown and I have employees. I guess, I mean, it was the same thing even at a store. Like, if you're the boss, you always think, oh, I can do it the best and I can do it the fastest.
Sure.
So I think it was just kind of like letting things go and letting that develop. But I mean, I've got, employees now. So like developing the system, I think probably developing the systems for other people to make sure it's been doing it correctly. But it's grown enough that I've had that issue, which I'm happy to have that issue. So
now, are you sending, I don't know, how many employees do you have right now?
So I've myself and 3 others.
Okay, are you sending them to stores, or is this more like the warehouse type of stuff?
No, so I don't pretty much, I don't really do too much in-store anymore.
Okay.
It was easier, like the margins are a lot better with in-store, because like if it was on clearance, it would be on clearance at like just a couple of stores, where if it's online, it's not really like as clearance. But it's easier now to buy online or from distributors in order to get more. I'm more focused on like quantity of stuff now versus like margins. So.
Because I remember there was a point you were just I remember seeing on Instagram, you were driving all over the place, like, you know.
And I would still, if I found the right item and I knew I could, find a couple hundred of them, I would definitely drive around. And it's fun, don't get me wrong. Like, once every like 2 months, I like to go to stores just for like the hunt of it. But it's just, once the business grew a certain amount, it wasn't as beneficial to drive around the store. So I have one person that's strictly, they actually work from New York. They do all my stuff online. I have one person that deals with like all the HR paperwork and the taxes and all the stuff, the fun stuff that I don't want to deal with. And then I have one person that like strictly preps. They, peel stickers off things if it has stickers. They put clothes in poly bags and like all that kind of stuff. So
now, when you were driving around, where's the furthest that you went to go get items?
So my first 2 years, my first 3 years that I did this, I actually made it a thing in the winter every year to drive down to Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I would hit I would take 4 days to get down to Florida, and I would hit stores the entire way. I would fill up my truck. I would actually do a shipment while I was down in Florida to be empty so I could hit more stores on the way back. And I would do that in the winter just because this way it was a good excuse to get down to New England for, a 2 week span. So, I would go down for 4 days, do work for 2 down there, take 2 days off, and then 4 days back up. So,
very cool.
But I did that for 3 years every winter. So that's the first. I mean, I've taken flights out to other places and found stuff while I'm out there. But like anytime I would go to Vegas, I would still go into different stores. But
now, what's that trip to Vegas? Is that you're meeting with all other people that do the same stuff?
No, so I go out twice a year. So it's called ASD. It's a wholesale distributor like conference. So there's like over 1,500 different like vendors promoting their businesses there, where they're a wholesaler in like the beauty thing or like toys and sports. So they're promoting their own business to try and get people like myself to do business with them. So instead of like going to the big box stores, like I'm the big box store to them, so they're trying to sell to me as far as that stuff goes. So,
okay.
And then there's tons of resellers, so it's a great networking event as well too. So like I always see at least 20, 30 people out there that I've actually met from Instagram that do what I do. People I would have never have met otherwise that I've just met from going out to events and stuff like that. So
no, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now, what is your favorite part of doing this?
If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would definitely say the hunt of in stores. Now, honestly, I think it's the networking. It's going to events, whether it's conferences or being asked to speak at events and like tell people what I do and how I've grown my business and stuff like that. I definitely think the networking, because I didn't realize how many people out there actually did this. So it's nice to be around like-minded people, because like sometimes explaining people, like you find it intriguing when you're on my Instagram looking at it, and like I enjoy explaining it, but then it's nice sometimes to have people that do it and we, kind of bounce ideas off each other. So I think the networking is probably what I enjoy the most now.
Oh, that's cool. Now, have you spoken at a lot of conferences and stuff like that?
I haven't done a lot of conferences. I've done a lot of like kind of smaller knit things where there's just like 40 people, and like I've done things where we got like an Airbnb, and then a whole bunch of resellers. If they lived around the area, we just like met up at a dinner, and then we had like a couple of the people talk and that kind of stuff, or we spoken back at the Airbnb. I haven't done too many like bigger conferences. But I mean, somebody that I considered a mentor at one of the ASD things saw me, and they were actually walking around with 40 people, stopped me and like, hey, can you talk for 10 minutes and kind of describe that? So like even like that kind of stuff's pretty cool. So because they know I don't mind talking about it. So, yeah.
Well, now I want to get to the Instagram, but I got to ask this though, because there's probably people that are going to watch this and be like, that might be something I want to do.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody, maybe even an older or younger person that's like, I want to do this, what would you tell them? What would be your advice to them?
Well, first off, I know people that are 20 doing this, and I know people that are 60 and 70 doing this. And you can do part-time and make a little bit of money, and you can do full-time and make a lot of money. But honestly, YouTube is probably the best as far as like videos, and then Instagram as far as connecting other people. I think a lot of people are scared to ask questions, but I will definitely tell you a lot of people in the community that I'm in enjoy when people ask questions because they don't get the opportunity to necessarily talk about it all the time. So honestly, watching videos, asking people is the best way for people to get into it. And actually, I've gotten a lot of friends into it just even like part-time, just like a little, because you can do as much or as little as work as you want on this. So it's good to be able to do both.
Now, how does this compare? Like, I guess I don't know the differences. Maybe you do, because there's some stuff on this table that I've probably ordered from eBay.
Yep.
Because and that's regular sellers. What is the big difference between like an eBay and an Amazon owner?
So actually, I sell on eBay as well too. I don't advertise it because a lot of it is what the reseller world kind of sees as a lot of time eBay is more collectibles, used items, harder to find items, because Amazon is a lot more research as far as trying to sell 400 of this, 1,000 of this, where like these kind of things are usually like one-offs.
Okay.
So I use eBay for like returns. So if it's a pair of sandals and it looks like it's been tried on, but I can't sell it as new, I'll do it on eBay. It's a little easier because you can put like different photos and stuff like that on eBay.
So kind of like in eBay, like people are expecting it's probably used before.
It depends. I mean, I sell new stuff on there as well too. I just think as a general thing, if somebody's on Amazon, they're looking for a new product. And then also Amazon offers Prime where you're getting it in 2 days. I know it's obviously a little bit different nowadays with shipping issues and that kind of stuff, but like Amazon, I think people more go for the convenience of shopping, where eBay more like selective shopping.
I will say with eBay, there's stuff I've ordered that's never shown up.
That's seller to seller. Some people are good seller. I mean, that's any kind of business. There are some great businesses out there, and then there's some not so great businesses out there. So.
Or there was one time I ordered a Scottie Pippen bobblehead. I was all excited about it.
Yeah.
Gets to my apartment, it's broke.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was during the pandemic. I glued the hands back on, but I broke it again. But now, how did you start the Instagram thing? Explain like your day to day.
Sure.
Like,
So Instagram, I just got started because I had when I was working with like the couponer and we were looking at like stuff like that, and she said she followed a couple like couponing people on Instagram, and I was like, I wonder if there's also resellers on Instagram. So I just kind of found it that way. I'd only used it for personal before, and then I just kind of developed that, and I learned so many things just from talking to other people. So what was the other question? I apologize.
You're, like, what's your day to day?
So my day to day. So it depends. I mean, so Mondays are my busiest. People obviously buy a lot of stuff on the weekends.
People hitting the bottle a little bit.
And, those late night orders. So Monday's definitely my busiest. I mean, I do work some weekends. This time of year, football started, so I don't. Sundays, I'm in front of a screen all day. But my day to day is usually, so I'll go in, see if the person that preps a lot of my stuff, she kind of handles a lot of the orders in the morning. I'll ask her if she needs help, no matter what day of the week it is. So I'll do that. I'll answer some emails. I'll check probably 20 different websites to see if they have certain deals that day. So I kind of cycle through these sites. If I know if it doesn't have a deal, I skip it for the day. If certain ones have a deal, we do that. I actually gift card hunt quite a little bit too, because you can save, like there's certain stores that people don't realize you can get 20% off gift cards. So I use those. So I check those sites every day. So I've probably got 40, 50 sites that I check every single morning just to kind of gauge. From that, I'll do those. I'll answer emails if I'm placing orders from like wholesalers, so I'll do that. I'll usually kind of jump out around lunchtime into the actual rest of the warehouse and help either box up stuff, prep stuff, just kind of switch things up. I can't sit in front of a computer all day. As much as I try, I can't do it.
I do that for a living.
Yeah.
But I get to talk to people on the phone. So
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have that human interaction. I literally am just in front, clicking on things, looking at products all day. So it gets a little bit monotonous after a while. So do that, and then usually kind of by like 3 or 4, I'll check to see if there's any kind of final orders after my part-timer is left for the day. Actually, she's full-time now. So I'll check orders, and then I'll do a little bit more. A lot of the times I'll then go home, have dinner, and then I do probably another 2-3 hours worth of work after dinner at home. So just looking at products. It's a very sometimes it's a painstaking thing, but I enjoy it because you find those products that, sometimes you can make a good amount of money on that you accidentally find, and it energizes you for the next hour to find like the next product. So,
How many hours a week would you say this takes up?
Now's a lot less. I probably do 75 now, which I know kind of seems silly that it's a lot less now, but I mean, a year ago I was working 80, 90 at least. Wow. I work more in November and December. I do probably about 40% of my sales for the year in November and December, just Black Friday, Christmas,
all that kind
of, so I mean, but it's worth the time putting in for that. So, but yeah, probably 70-ish, 70, 75 right now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's on my terms. If I want to stop for dinner, I can stop for dinner.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference, because like when I was working at Aldi, I was salaried at a certain
You're
amount
on
of
their
hours,
time.
but I was on their time.
Yeah.
If this had to get done, it had to get done. If I want to eat, well, I guess I'm waiting until later.
Yeah.
Now I can stop, eat. If friends want to hang out, if I've got softball, I can stop, go to softball. If I got to get some stuff done, I can always go back afterwards or do some work from home. So it's a much different 70, 75 hours.
Yeah, I can see, because it's also your thing too.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Christmas just wild?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I was doing my first year doing Christmas, people were telling me you could literally sell everything that you wanted on there, and I was like, "There's no way." And I had stuff that had been sitting around for forever, and it sold like it was like the newest, hottest toy during Christmas. Like it's people just go wild for Christmas. It's crazy. I tell people when they're doing it, like, you think you're ready, you're not ready. This is I think my 5th Christmas like doing stuff, and I think I'm ready, but I'm not ready. It's wild.
I can only imagine, like, but you say you don't travel to stores anymore, though. But do you do anything on Black Friday? Like, would you go to a store on Black Friday and see what at this point now?
No, I mean, pretty much to me at this point, the doorbusters are the only things where you're getting that great of a deal. Most of the stores at this point, all the stuff that they're doing, the good deals, not the doorbuster deals, but like the good deals, they're online as well too. So
okay.
as long as you can do it online, I mean, sometimes they might have more limits online and stuff like that. But at the same time, for me, I don't actually do a ton of shopping on Black Friday for the business, because if it's marked down in one store, it's usually marked down in every store because they're trying to be competitive. So it's actually hard to find those like margins that I'm looking for. So I actually don't do a ton. People think that like they do crazy amounts for buying. I actually don't do a ton.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this, because I'm kind of interested. Sure. Look where we are right now. Mm-hmm. All right, we're both in our late 30s. Anybody watching? Newsflash.
I don't know what gave it away.
Yeah. But where do you see, like, let's say the retail industry, do you think that's going to at one point just like, are we going to see, because, okay, Toys R Us does not exist anymore, or apparently it's coming back. I'd love to see it. But we've seen a lot of stores go out of business in our lifetime.
Yep.
Do you see it like at some point just like everything, maybe not grocery stores, but you can buy groceries, you can order them before you show up now?
I think a lot of stores, a lot of stores need to transition, and I think a lot of places, because they're everybody's trying to keep up with Amazon as far as like the expedited shipping and that kind of stuff. I think a lot of stores are going to keep their retail stores, but they're going to be doing a lot more shipping like from the store. Like they'll carry more in store because they won't have, in my thoughts, they won't have as many kind of like dedicated warehouses for shipping, but they'll have stuff available to customers if you want to go in store, but they'll be more focused on like the shipping portion from like stores, like a DSW for shoes and stuff like that. They might be more focused on trying to have more stuff there so they can ship it directly to the customer when they're ordering it online versus going in store. Because I mean, I think something like a shoe, a lot of people like to go in and try it on and that kind of stuff. So certain venues I think will go away completely, but other places like a grocery store, I think it's tough. You buy your produce, you want to see it. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's wild, because I just never thought like how, when we were growing up, it's crazy, because even my job, the internet has just exploded so much that it's like, man, we do pretty much everything on there.
Yep.
It's nuts to think.
Yep.
I mean, even like I've said on here, and like you said, you've met people from all over. I do a podcast with the 4 families. Never met them in person.
Yep.
It's just kind of a wild thing. I think when I was like 11 years old, I never would have understood this would have been the way it would be.
Yep.
Yeah,
one of my best friends that I have now is from California. He's a fellow reseller that I talked to him online. We like FaceTime like every other day for like 2 years before we ever even met in person. And they were just out here a week and a half ago just to hang out and visit. And I wouldn't have met him without the internet and the reselling world.
Yeah, it's like the only way you met people is that they were in your area. And now it's like it's not like that. We've stretched this whole thing, and I can only imagine what the next 20 years is going to look like.
Yeah, I couldn't even begin to imagine.
Yeah. So
if somebody explained the internet to me before it was a thing, I would have been like, okay, good luck with
great.
that.
I don't know what you mean.
Yep.
I do want to talk about this because this is another big thing that you do. You're wearing the sweatshirt.
Yep, sure am.
The mud bowl, but you play mud football.
Yep.
Tell us what that is.
So it's 7-on-7. So there's 3 linemen, 3 wide receivers, and a quarterback. The fun thing about mud football is everyone's eligible. Like the linemen are eligible to go out for passes. So we play 2 tournaments a year. There's one up in Kingfield, Maine, which is probably about 4 hours from here, and then we do another one in Conway. And that's it. It's just 2 tournaments for the whole year. We have like whole practices and stuff like that. But we play in muddy water. Sometimes it's more mud. Sometimes it's more water. That's about like this deep, so it's pretty crazy. I'm a pretty average size guy up there, and I'm 6'5", 260 for reference. So I'm a pretty average size guy up there, but yeah, it's a wild time. And there's most of the same football rules apply, but there's a couple different rules. There's like very unique things for the mud and stuff like that. But I mean, we do kickoffs like full, 2 halves and everything. So it's pretty crazy.
And we've had Jesse DeLay on the show. We've had Devin Blaze on the show.
Yep.
They brought up you train in the Merrimack River?
Yeah, up in Concord.
Okay.
So we found a place where there's like a little bit of a sandbar, and then we found some places where the water is like this deep. So you get used to, you can't cut, it's harder to jump and that kind of stuff. So we go up there, we practice in the river to try and get ready. Like we map out the field just to make sure the field's a little bit shorter, a little bit skinnier. So we map out the field to make sure and run that way. So we use a rubber ball, not like the normal like leather ball. So you're trying to get used to catching it different because like you can't high point, a football when it's soaking wet. You got to catch it in your chest a lot more and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's different. So that's the best way we found to like practice. So
I always thought that was so cool.
Yep.
I got to ask this, and I do want to ask some other questions, but I played rugby in college,
yep.
And we play in the rain. And I remember this was an all the time thing. Okay, I remember just how much water, and there was time I got mud in my contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how you guys seeing out there?
Not well. There's certain plays where we have to come out and they have like hoses off on the sidelines because you got to like wash off your face. But I mean, there's plenty of times you're just taking the mud, wiping it, and you're not running a deep route that time. Like you'll tell the quarterback being like, "Hey, I can't see, so you got to give me something short."
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you get splashed in the face, you're diving in the mud. I mean, your hair feels like it weighs 40 pounds. It's muddy. You're wiping stuff off your face. Like you'll have guys pass out water bottles from the sidelines, so you can just kind of rinse off your eyes. You throw it back, and you're right in there. So, I don't know.
See, I can see that's got to be I always thought about that sight has to be like one of the most challenging parts of this whole thing.
Yeah. So the first 2 years I played, I had contacts, and it was definitely way more difficult. I got LASIK afterwards, so now it's way easier because I don't have stuff moving around in my eye, but. Yeah, I mean, Jesse, who plays, like, I think he tried to, like...
He takes his glasses off.
Yeah, he takes his glasses off, which I'm not quite sure how he sees.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, if you have mud in your eyes, it's kind of, it's debilitating as well, too. So it's difficult. It is. But yeah, you wipe it off, you deal with it, and you try and blink as much dirt and mud out of your eyes that you can.
Now, how do you get involved with this? Because I'd never heard of it until... you guys were playing in it.
Yeah. So actually, one of my ex-girlfriends played. Her 2 brothers and her sister's husband played. And so when her and I started dating, she kind of like told me about it, and I was like, that sounds great. So yeah, I went up there, saw it, kind of fell in love with it. That's lasted longer than the relationship. So yeah, I think this was my 8th year playing mud football. So I still play, but I'm actually the coach of the team. This is my first year being the coach of the team was this past year.
Oh, I always thought you were the coach.
No, I was the assistant coach for a couple of years, but
Okay.
I'm actually like the head coach of the team. So this is my first year coaching, but I mean, I'll still play for at least another 5-6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are they inviting all the same people every tournament? Like, because you're saying there's 2 different ones. Are you seeing the same people, or are they bringing in new teams, or?
So the one in Conway, which everybody kind of considers more the bigger one, like you literally pay to get in. It was featured on ESPN
Really?
back in like 2013. Kenny Mayne like joined a team and like did like a whole thing on it. It was
wow.
actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So that one's more like the bigger commercialized one. There's 12 teams, and it's been I think one team went out and one team came in, but otherwise it's been the same like other 11 teams for the 8 years that I've been doing it.
Okay.
And then up in Maine, about 8 to 9 of those teams come up in Maine just because there's teams from Rhode Island, Connecticut that don't want to travel all the way to Maine because it's 4 hours from here. So I mean, for them that'd be 7-8 hour trip. So, but we still get 8 to 10 for the one in Maine. But the Conway one's been 12 teams ever since I've been playing it, and I think it's been going since like the 70s.
Oh wow.
Because I want to say that it just like celebrated their like 52nd or 53rd year or something. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Does everybody just kind of hang out after, like you have the game, and then it's just kind of like softball is, where it's like
So there's a beer tent for like the players and the cheerleaders or significant others, and then so the one in Conway they actually play it in like a little like coliseum right next to the community center. Okay. So like there's stands where people can sit, watch the games and that kind of stuff, and they have they sell the sweatshirts and stuff. That they have the gear sometimes from different teams if they want to bring stuff, but they've got like an actual like a little mini restaurant you can order stuff in. Wow. They've got a little barbecue thing. All the teams are required to either be involved in a parade at one of the days, or we have to come up with like team skits where we do a skit in the mud. Like this year we did a little mini football toss. We had the kids come down, not in the mud, they're not allowed to go in the mud, but like tossing. We had guys with like bins trying to catch footballs. So it's a family event for like the Conway one. So
that's very cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Now I got to ask, who are some of the players that you have on the team?
People that you would know?
Yeah, or who are the standouts here?
So you've had Jesse on here before. Yeah. You've had Devin on here before. So other guys we play softball with, Joey and Kyle. I've been trying to get Dylan for years, but I can't get him up there.
I can only imagine with the beard.
Yeah, well, Jesse has the big beard
true.
too.
Yeah,
so it's pretty gnarly. Trying to think of, I think that's Bobby Guerin. He plays as well too. I think those are mostly. Other guys. That's all just on my team. But DeMarco used to play.
Oh really?
He was a beast up there.
Was he?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite guys.
I didn't know that's. So that's how you knew each other.
Yeah. That's how we met each other. That's how we knew each other. I met him through football, and then just saw him at softball. He's probably going to give me a lot of grief that I actually complimented him, but he's a beast up there.
Yeah, he played for him and. Kyle played for Plymouth State.
Yep.
So
yeah, you could definitely tell he played football.
Yeah. Is this popular in other places? Is this just a strictly like kind of New England thing?
As far as I know, this is strictly just a New England thing. There's other places that have done like random things or like because I've looked for videos and people have asked me like, is this anywhere else? And it's not anywhere else that we know of. But there's a couple teams that even have like a couple like former NFL players.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a very average sized guy up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I know, this is the only like bigger mud football tournament that exists in the U.S. As far as I know.
Oh, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, all right, I do have a fan question from Richard Bates.
Yeah.
He just wants to know, and he's been. We've had him on the show.
Yep.
He's been playing a long time, but he says, Matty, any advice for pitchers?
Yes, and this is I'll go this way. Batesy, just throw strikes. That's it. I tell him all the time. If he's struggling, like, hey, throw strikes. Let's go. That's it. That's my advice. Just throw strikes.
Easier said than done, though.
Yeah. Yes, I will say. I pitched a couple games. Way easier said than done.
I don't think back in 2011, I was playing the My Social Sports or NHSSC at the time, and I was able to pitch in that league.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do it again years later. I'm like, man, I would really have to focus and it's not easy.
It's not. You think just throwing it underhand, just trying to do that would be easy. It's not. There's a lot more strategy to it and a lot more skill to it than people realize.
And the people that are really good, I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that.
Yep.
And Batesy's really good.
Oh yeah.
He won the playoff MVP last year.
There you go. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to get to softball word association here?
Sure.
So I'm going to name something related to softball. You have to give me the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
First I have Mark Cappy.
A president.
That's a pretty simple one.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of grief, but I actually think that,
It's not easy. Even just being a coach, it's not an easy position to be in because everybody hangs on everything you say, and no matter what answer you give, somebody's going to disagree with it. So.
No, I totally agree. And what I will say is, I learned a lot this year being a league president. It's you can make people happy, but you can't make everybody happy.
Correct.
You're always going to have something that they're going to have a problem with.
Yep.
Kung Fury.
Former champions.
That's 2 words, though.
It is. Okay.
Former?
Former. Sure. We'll go with former.
The Clark brothers.
Yeah, it's tough to do one word. was gonna say good friends, but we'll just say good friends. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. A team, Atomic Launch.
Newbies.
They got a lot of young players on there.
They do, and that was a general statement in the league, and also, yeah. I mean, I think they've got probably. I don't know if they have anybody over 26.
Yeah. Yeah. Not well. Obviously Jay, I think, but yeah, because that's Atomic Launch.
Is it? Yeah.
He kept. Did he keep the name, or did he?
He kept the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a field. Udicky.
Udicky. See, I can't do one words for a lot of these. I wanted to say could be better groomed, but that's my first instinct, my first thought. I don't know if I have a good one word answer for that.
Everyone hates. Well, I guess I'll ask this because it's not fair. Because I got to ask this. Said Udicky. Udicky to everyone out there means the field closest to the street.
Correct.
There's a lot of confusion.
Udicky and then Atkinson.
So then I ask Atkinson.
Better.
Yeah. But I will say this though, because we were talking about this off air because we wanted to play tonight. You're right. Udicky non-fence can hold water.
Mm-hmm.
Atkinson cannot.
Correct. But I think I like the field better at Atkinson because Udicky is like the gravel.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to catch me sliding. Maybe in my 20s, but in my 30s, you're not going to catch me sliding there.
I have
ever.
scars all over my body
Yep.
from sliding on stone dust.
I absolutely believe that. So, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and now I go, nope,
Nope, it's not worth it.
I'm not doing it.
Yep.
Here's another field that we play at. I prefer it, or I like it. I don't like the walk. A lot of people don't like it. Mines Falls.
Terrible.
Really?
Yes. I think that there are way more random rocks and pebbles in the infield. I started wearing a mask because of that field.
Yes, actually, I did too.
Yep.
Because I was Brandon Lacasse, not Brandon. What am I saying? Jason Lacasse. Yep. I'm at a mind cramp. He got blown up by Mia one time.
Yep.
Ball ricocheted off something. It was a random play, and his eyes swelled up. He looked like Quasimodo.
Yep.
You know, and that's when I was like, I'll buy a mask.
Yep. No, I went down for a ball at short. Thought I was going to field it nice and just right up here. Like enough so the first thing I did was like, let me check and see how many teeth I just lost.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Fortunately, none. But yeah, I was like, okay, mask from now on. So.
How do you feel about like the people that are like, I could never do that?
What, wearing a mask?
There's so many people that are like, I could never do it.
It's personal choice.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, personal choice. It doesn't get in my way at all. So yeah, personal choice.
They're very lightweight.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's just enough just to cover your face, so the ball's not going to get in there. They don't obstruct your view. They're not like heavy. So you're not like, it doesn't make me not move around as fast. So yeah.
I got to ask this: Fast Life.
Friends. I know a lot of people don't like Fast Life because there are a lot of younger guys, but I don't know. They've always been super nice to me. So
I think they're good guys.
Yeah, I think they're all good guys. So, and I know a lot of those guys, and I mean, like, I think it helped that I was been in the league for a long period of time when they first kind of came into the league. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like them.
Yep.
I think they're good guys.
Yep.
And you know what? They're having so much fun.
Oh yeah.
They're having so much fun.
And we've seen a lot of those guys go from a team that could barely win one game to being the number one seed going into
it.
Yeah.
And then the big boys had to come back
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah.
The Raccoons, a team that's retired but had a lengthy run there.
I'll say classics. That's the first word that came in there because it's a lot of the older guys in the league. I'm not calling the guys old. But like, yeah, they're the class people, the people that I came into the league kind of like seeing and kind of, I guess we'll say, like learning the game from. Because I mean, I was a baseball player, so softball.
Yeah, I would say like I learned a lot from Rico and Benny about like slow pitch softball, or how to run a team too.
Right.
Like I learned a lot. Like not that I want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But Benny was like one of the best coaches I ever had.
Yeah.
You know. Even when you get pissed off, we still loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, especially being a coach.
Greeley Park.
Can I say terrible again?
See, that's like my home base. I love playing there.
I mean, I live 2 seconds from Greeley Park, so like it's nice. It's good for BP, but I mean, it's tough with all the other fields there. The parking is. I mean,
suspects.
Yeah. There's so many like random holes in the outfield. So I'm just like waiting to get injured. So yeah, and it's got like the stone dust again. the stone dust.
I thought on the third field there was one time I thought I was going to die, like playing shortstop. I was like, this ball is coming way too quick here.
The field also feels like it's a little bit shorter, to be honest. Yeah, like the infield feels smaller. So like I think I play where I think I normally play, but then I'm that much closer in. So.
I get it now. Now I know about what your thoughts are. Now I know you don't play there a lot, but I think you played at these 2 fields in tournaments. Okay. I want to know what you think of the Merrimack fields. What do you think, Martell?
I've only played them in tournaments. I've never played them in other things, and I mean, I feel like those are better than the Nashua fields, in my personal opinion.
Martell is pretty beautiful.
Yeah, no, I like Martell Field.
Shout out to Bob because I know he's put restrictions on there. Bob, I'm blanking on names today, but Bob.
Okay.
He's put like caution tape on there saying don't go on the field, and then people still do, and he'll see on Facebook and go, "There's a sign."
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. We all know those signs don't work.
That field is very very treasured.
Yeah.
Trudowski, have you played there? It's off Turkey. It's on Turkey Hill.
I don't think I have, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not as nice as Martell. I'll say that.
If I have, it was probably just in a random tournament, and I didn't know. Probably just somebody just gave me an address, and I went to the field.
You showed up.
Yeah.
You want to talk about bad parking situation? That's one.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Martell's got Martell and Atkinson's the best. There's just so much.
Martell has a ton. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Craig Pelletier.
I mean, I'm gonna say baller. He's a balls to the wall kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows he can be a little hot-headed sometimes, but I like that. To me, that's passion.
That's just Craig.
Yeah.
So many people get pissed off. I go, well, you just don't know him.
Yeah. I see that as passion, and I mean, like, you can't teach that. You can't teach the fire for the game. Like, I enjoy when somebody gets aggravated with themselves when they miss a play or miss a ball and that kind of stuff because they care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no.
No, and I have to say, like, Mudcats, the softball team, not the football team.
Yeah, we're both the same.
Yeah, was very, very much a better team this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
The legend, Ken Nagel.
I mean, I'm just gonna go with legend. I mean,
okay.
that's how everybody knows him. I know you mentioned it in there, but I 100% would have thought legend. I mean, he's Ken Nagel. Yeah.
And he's talking about retirement, which I'm, a little.
Yeah.
A little
he said
about.
what? 1 more year? I think he said.
I have 1 year to talk him out of it.
I'm sure many people will try and talk him out of it.
O'Brien's. Or Longfellow, whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever they are. I mean, I just think Cappy, just because that's how I know them as. So, just Cappy.
U-Trip.
I don't know how to say one word. I mean, it's all I'm used to is just U-Trip. So I don't have a one-word answer on U-Trip.
Well, because I was going to ask ASA, which is now USA, but have you ever played it?
I've never played ASA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last one, Tiny Pipes.
Great.
I'll take it. It is my show. I appreciate that. All right. I do want to get into blank versus blank.
Sure.
It's my favorite part of the show.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 things. You got to pick one, but you got to tell me why.
Okay.
First one, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Ooh. I'm going to say Michael Jackson, just because I enjoyed Michael Jackson's dancing more growing up.
Okay.
And I used to do, like, a little bit of break dancing, which, I mean, I know Michael Jackson didn't do break dancing, but I appreciated his moves more. So that's my only reasoning between the two.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I didn't get into Prince more. I got more into Prince when he passed away.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird,
Like, you appreciate it more, yeah.
I'm like, I never really give this a chance.
Yeah.
I got to ask this. Skittles or Starburst?
Ooh. I'm going to say Starburst, just not the yellow ones.
Okay. Don't like the yellow?
No, I don't like the yellow. I'll do the orange, pink, and red all day, but I feel like, I don't know, Skittles I almost think are more tart than sweet, and I like the sweet flavor more.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think pink is the best color? Because that's like the debate.
I think red.
I love red too, but I got older.
Oh, no, I've always been the red Starburst.
Okay.
I've always been the red Starburst.
Is it cherry?
I think so.
Okay.
It's not strawberry. It's more cherry.
All right, I got to ask this. This has been the biggest, big debate for a long time. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, Pepsi. Easy.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I've never blind taste tested myself, but I genuinely feel like it would be very easy for me to pick out Pepsi over Coke at least 9 times out of 10. I'm also a big Mountain Dew fan, which is a Pepsi product, so I feel like that sways it.
So you got to have that.
Yeah, it sways it as well.
See, I go with Coke, but it's not like I dislike Pepsi. Okay. I just got to be in a mood for it.
Sure.
Would you rather have a beer or a White Claw?
Oh, beer.
Still,
Yeah.
even in our
Even in the softball community.
Okay.
I don't have anything against White Claws, and I still drink plenty of them with
Yeah.
with softball and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I like the taste of beer better than I do White Claw.
It's weird. I if I go somewhere, I'm like, yep, give me a White Claw, and people are always like, man, Stone Cold Steve Austin's gonna be so disappointed in you, And all right. Who would you rather watch a movie of? Now, these are two comedy icons.
Okay.
Chris Farley
Yeah.
or Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he had more, but yeah.
Right. Well, not even that he had more. I don't know. I just I like his style better, and I think it's more because I still see him and he's still the same guy. Like any photo you see of him, he's still in gym shorts and a t-shirt. Like literally 2 days ago, I saw a photo of him like somewhere else. I mean, I think he's walking around on a cane now. I don't know if he hurt himself or he's just getting old. But
It's crazy because he is.
He is old. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I like his style better. I mean, Chris Farley was, I feel like, more in your face comedy. Where I don't know. Yeah. I like Adam Sandler better.
Do you have a favorite Adam Sandler movie?
No, I don't think I do. To be honest. Yeah.
See, I still believe, in my opinion, two best: Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And Happy
Gilmore. Yeah. Probably be those two. I wouldn't want to pick between the two, but yeah.
All right, let me ask you this. Well, I gotta ask this one question too. Did you get to see the Woodstock '99 documentary yet?
I have not, no.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Would you pick Limp Bizkit
Oh, Jesus.
or Korn?
Probably Limp Bizkit, just because I probably listened to more of their songs. Yeah, I think I don't want to say I related more to Limp Bizkit, but I enjoyed more of Limp Bizkit songs than I did Korn songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think the overall better band was Korn.
Okay.
But there's Limp Bizkit songs that break stuff.
Yeah.
Once you watch this documentary,
Okay.
I got addicted all over again.
Okay.
To I've been playing break stuff. Like we're at the field yesterday. I go break stuff. Put it on.
Put it on repeat.
Put it on right before I hit.
Yeah.
Like I want it on right now.
That's your walk-up song.
Yeah, exactly. Another kind of Woodstock '99 reference here. Jewel or Sheryl Crow?
Ooh. I'd say Sheryl Crow. Not by like 51-49. I don't know. They're both great artists, but yeah, again, I think I just enjoyed her music a little more.
I feel like Sheryl Crow kind of like lasted longer. I feel like Jewel
certainly wasn't one hit wonder, but yeah,
not a one hit wonder.
Definitely was shorter. Yeah.
But I don't remember
as many Jewel songs. Yeah.
I think I can think of. Okay, I can only think of one right now. Who Will Save Your Soul?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that was the name of the song. I'm blanking on Jewel's songs, but DMX or Ja Rule?
Ooh, DMX. I think he hit harder in the right ways. Like growing up listening to those songs, I think. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Metallica or Megadeth?
Metallica. Enjoyed their songs way more. Yeah.
We had Jesse on, and I had no idea that Megadeth actually spawned off of Metallica.
Okay.
Like I learned that on the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess that's why they felt similar to compare again.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, if one went away, you can only watch one. Mm-hmm. Patriots or the Red Sox?
I got to say Red Sox. As much as I'm a huge Patriots fan. I mean, I grew up playing baseball. I played it in college, which that was my dream, was to go pro. So I got to say Red Sox. That's baseball is baseball will always have my heart compared to everything else.
See, I agree. I don't watch as much as I like. I won't miss the Patriots.
Okay. I think it's easier because it's only once a week.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've had such an issue with baseball where I was always a baseball purist.
Okay.
And the more they change the game, the more they're pushing me away from it.
No, I can agree with that.
I've always loved baseball.
Yeah.
But
I get it. I mean, the fact that they're talking about changing the base size, just like little stuff, you're like, why?
Yeah, like, but I shout out to Aaron Judge. He hit 60 home runs with what we pursue, like no steroids.
Natural, yeah.
So, man, if those, now I get curious now that, let's say those guys never juiced. is this the best hitter
Right.
we've had since Babe Ruth
Yeah,
or
would
Roger
he
Maris
have
or-
would he have the record?
Yeah, did you see the pile-on that they had trying to get that ball at Yankee Stadium?
No, the 60th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe the kid gave it back to him.
He gave it back, but I'm not kidding. It looked like a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Everybody came in. It was just a pile-on. Like people were not on their feet, and
Yeah, I believe it.
so.
Yeah, it's history.
I'm going to ask this. I haven't asked this question in a little while, but I'm curious to what your opinion is on this. We had 20 years of solid success here in New England with football.
Yep.
Who's more responsible for the success of the New England Patriots, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick?
And I can't say they're both as equal.
Blank versus blank. We did have someone say Robert Kraft one time. I go, nope, that's not blank versus blank. It's one or the other.
I mean, I'm gonna say Tom Brady, and I'm not saying that because obviously, after Brady left, obviously the record is much different and that kind of stuff. Because I feel like you needed both of them in order to have the success that we did. But I feel like a coach, and I'm being a coach, I feel like a coach can only do so much. You still have to have the talent of who's out there. So I get a coach can be talented in helping people, but I'm gonna say, as an individual, Tom Brady.
Do you think though? Belichick's also not just the coach, though.
Right.
He's the GM as well.
Sure.
So he's buying the groceries.
Yes.
Does that, or I guess what I'm having a difficult time with, he's still doing it now, and I think this is where people sway me on Brady. He's not winning like he was when he had Brady. Because you just look at the season, even Brady's last year here, that team wasn't great.
Yeah.
They still were way above. They had a huge winning, I forget what it was, but a really great record.
Yeah.
Now, not so much.
I think you can win more games with a great quarterback and an average coach versus a great coach and an average quarterback. So that's what sways me to lean more towards Brady. I think you have to have a better quarterback, and you can't have a terrible coach, but if you have a great quarterback, average coach, great coach, average quarterback, I think you're going to win more games with the better quarterback.
No, I agree. It's hard because I'm such a homer.
Yeah.
And Brady left.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm picking Belichick.
Sure.
Do you think Giselle might leave him? Or do you think, she's never spoke to the media, and she went to the media this time, which I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I think anybody in the spotlight's going to have their issues because, as much as they can get used to being a celebrity, that it'll eventually kind of weigh on them, and people are always going to have their opinions, and sometimes I think people just saying it so often, you kind of start thinking, maybe
right.
that is, yeah. So.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. She might have heard enough, and she's like, yeah, he is doing it.
You know what? He should be home, yeah.
All right, I got to ask you. So now we got two more. They're very tough ones.
Okay.
You can only play one for the rest of your life. The other one you can't. Softball or mud football?
Ooh. I'm going to get hate for this. Mud football. I don't know. I have an amazing passion still for softball, but I think if you said mud football or baseball, if I was still playing baseball, I'd probably say baseball. But I think with mud football, it's just where it's always an event because there's only 2 tournaments. I think it's just they're big, huge events, and you're just practicing for that. Which I know softball, you get your playoffs, then you have you have your regular season, you have your playoffs, but I think just mud football because they're 2 big events and they're in towns and they're big event. You're renting Airbnbs and doing these big things. I think I have more passion still for mud football than I do for softball.
Would you play it more if there was more?
Yeah.
Is it expensive when you guys go? But everybody's throwing in.
Yeah, everybody's throwing in, but it's not cheap for the 2 tournaments because you're paying dues to be able to play. They have to they bring in a tractor to till the fields and all that, and you got to pay. Everybody has to have health insurance and that kind of stuff. But we rent Airbnbs out of town, so you can split it with people, but it's still it racks up. It would get expensive if they did more tournaments.
I could imagine.
Yeah, yeah, it's not cheap.
Toughest one in blank versus blank. Going to put 2 people, both friends of yours. We don't put your feet to the fire here, but we got to know.
Okay.
Bobby Guerin, who I believe you guys are related.
Yep.
Or Frank Delichai.
Ooh. I got to pick Bobby. We're family. He's my cousin. So
I guess there's no,
Yeah. No, and Bobby lived with me for 4 years. So yes, he's my cousin, but honestly, I see him more as a brother. So yeah. Frank's my brother on the field. But yeah, no, Bobby's family. So.
No, understandable. And shout out to Frank. He had a great year.
Yeah.
He made the All-Stars. He was pumped.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, he was super bummed. He didn't get to hit. He was very bummed about that because the rain came
The
in.
tsunami came.
And literally, I think he was like one batter away, and he's never officially made the All-Star team until this year. So this is the year, and then he got shut down. So I felt terrible about it. And you've seen the photo of him standing out in the rain on the field. So
I think I took that one.
Did you? Yeah.
I'm like, why is Frank on the field with his phone out? It's just like, man, what could have been?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So.
But shout out Frank for making the All-Star game. Yeah. But Matty, this has been a blast. We'll do it again sometime.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. So everybody out there, have a wonderful week. Keep your heads up. And until next time, let freedom ring.